16th of April, and of May. It's May, and we are sitting here in the C Club Beer Garden. Me is Kalle and Chris from Fure UK. Nice to meet you.
How's it going? You okay?
I'm fine, and you?
Yeah, very well.
Okay. You told me that the soundcheck is great, everything is fine today. Last night it was not so good.
Yeah, it was a bit late, running a bit late last night, but everything's done. Got enough time to get ready, and really good sound here as well. So we've been looked after.
Okay. So what do you think about tonight? How many people will be there?
You know what? I have no idea. But if all the other shows are anything to go off, it should be a great night and plenty of people.
Okay. So what can the fan expect from the show tonight?
Expect us to go wild. It's actually our last show tonight with Michael Schenker.
Okay.
So it's been a great tour so far, and but we go back to England tomorrow. And continue the tour. So yeah, this is our last night, so we're probably going to go a little bit extra wild.
Okay. So something special planned from the crew, maybe?
Yeah, probably, yeah. We'll see what happens. Someone's just reminded us this morning that it's 2 years since Ronnie James Dio died as well, so we're probably going to dedicate our set to Dio, just as a memory. It's gone so fast as well.
2 years, that's a long time. A long time is it ago that you got your first experience with the music, right?
Yeah, I reckon. I mean, I started guitar when I was 9 years old or something like that, and I was playing my first shows in small bands since 10, 11 years old.
Okay.
So, long time.
What was your first record you bought?
My first album, I think it was Let There Be Rock, AC/DC.
Oh. So your father bring that to your music, or your brother, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Picked up a lot off my dad. Ozzy, AC/DC, Rush, and then I just sort of started to search, different stuff through the years, and so that's where it all comes from. And then I passed it on to Luke, the little bro.
Yeah. And what was your first band? You told that you played in some small band. What was your first band? What was the name of?
The first band was probably some sort of incarnation of Fure UK. Probably under a different name, but then developed into it. I was in school bands. I was also, very, very early. I was playing on my own with like backing tracks. Ages 11, 12, and then got into my first band, and then years later came up with the band Fure UK, and I was probably still at school at this point, but. It's probably only over the past 4 or 5 years where it's actually got to this level. So, yeah. So
you got a teacher, or you learned everything yourself?
Everything myself.
Okay.
Yeah, totally self-taught, and just listen, play at the same time, and listen again.
Notes or no notes?
No notes. No notes, no tab, just ears.
Okay. So you got a great ear and keep it.
Yeah. I've always had a good ear, Even when I was, before I started playing guitar, I could always listen to something and tell, that's a little bit out of tune, or, oh yeah, that sounds really good, or something's, I could always tell how it sounded and if it sounded wrong or sounded right.
Okay. And what was your first concert you ever played? Was it in a school or was it in a family party?
Yeah, I did lots of small family parties when I was younger. My first big performance, I think I was on my own playing guitar. It was about 600 people with backing tracks, and I did something like some Gary Moore and some Johnny B. Good sort of stuff. But that was really, I think it was 12 or something. That was the first.
For 600 people in the age of 12.
Yeah.
Wow.
So people do ask me now. It's like, do you ever still get nervous when before you go on stage? And it's like, Not really, no, because I've just been doing it so long.
Yeah.
I'm only 23 now, but the amount of gigs I've done, since I was, age 10, it just comes very naturally to me now.
Okay. So what was it for a feeling to be on stage for the first time and play in front of 600 people? I mean, you have to feel, I don't know, like a hero?
Yeah, I mean, it was strange. I always had in my mind, as soon as I picked up a guitar, it's like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So I didn't really get many nerves. First few times, yeah, but I just thought, well, if all these other people can do it and all these other guitarists and singers and whatever can do it, then, and this is what I want to do, then I could do it for sure.
Okay.
So that's the sort of mentality I always had.
Yeah. Well, which city you came? Manchester, was it, right?
Manchester, yeah, that's where we come from.
Okay, all the members of the band, or
all members? Yeah, we're all Manchester.
So let's come to Fear UK. Who's in the band right now? That 2002 was a founding of the band, and it changed a little bit in the band. No, the members. You are the only one who you found the band, and you are still the last member in it.
Yeah, we went in the early years when we did like our first releases and everything. It went through a few different changes, and it's 50% of the battle of having a great band is finding the members that work and everyone gets along and everyone's happy. So as soon as this lineup of the band came together, it really started working and we really started pushing forward, which was probably about 4.5 years ago, 2007, 2008. And as soon as we found this version of the band, we suddenly, we're sort of rocking around here, and then the lineup changes, and then suddenly we start doing this because everyone's thinking the same and everyone's a unit. And this version of the band has done all the real successful stuff, and we're very proud of.
So one of the members is an Ice Earth now. So let's talk about the other members. Who are the names?
We've got Martin McNee as a drummer, and then my brother Luke Appleton on bass. And that's just happened very, very recently. Actually, Luke has been asked to join Iced Earth. The Iced Earth's old bass player Freddie was leaving. And their manager basically phoned Luke up and says, okay, Freddie's leaving, Iced Earth want you. No audition, no nothing. And of course we Fury UK toured with Iced Earth for the European tour last year, so they knew exactly what he was like and what sort of people we all are, so they were sort of like, yeah, we'll have Luke.
But what is the meaning behind the name Fury UK?
Originally, I think the word Fury was a song I wrote many years ago, and it was just like a guitar blast. But then it developed. The website was already furyuk.com. The MySpace was Fury UK. People were wearing the logo, the FUK logo, wristbands and everything. And then we started using the logo on our flags, and we just thought, well, yeah, fine, let's call it Fury UK. It's something very British metal, sort of. Everyone relates us to that era of Iron Maiden, Motorhead, Tigers of Pantang. So we thought, yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So there's no special meaning between the name and the music you play, right?
We're furious, and we're from England.
Okay, yeah. So, how would you describe your music? I would say it's more powerful heavy metal, but it's not the way like many people say, new wave of British heavy metal.
Yeah, I mean, we take a lot of our influences from Iron Maiden, Motorhead and the old bands, but then we take it in a different direction as well, because we're very influenced by some progressive rock bands like Rush, for the three-piece sound. And then we like the thrash bands, so we like Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer. So we take it in a different direction. So you've got new wave of British heavy metal, the progressive elements, and then the heavier, late 80s sort of sound. So we just mash it all together, with like Joe Satriani's sort of guitar work in there, style-wise, and then you get something close to Fury UK. So we like to mix it about.
Okay. So you would say it's more a mix between all these kind of genres, and when people come to you and say, "Hey, you play heavy metal," you say, "Okay, yeah, I do," but it's more than this, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll always be a heavy metal band. It'll always be, if people saw us like, yeah, they're heavy metal, but it's not the same as anybody else, really. We always try and do something a little bit different, because that's what we like to do. Keep it fresh. We don't want to copy Iron Maiden. We don't want to copy Thin Lizzy or Black Sabbath.
It's not possible.
Yeah, exactly. We just want to do something our own, and salute those bands, but do something fresh.
And what would you say is the developing of the music? I mean, from the first album, which came out 2007 till now. I mean, there's 4 albums now, right now.
We're on we've got 3 albums and an EP.
Okay, yeah, EP, yeah.
It's developed as we've gone and as we've sort of changed as people and what we want to do. The very first album was okay, it's a good album, but we weren't really happy with the production on it.
Okay.
It was it was good, but it was like it was a first album thing, Face of Adversity.
It was a first experience with the band and everything else. But why does it took so long time from 2002 to 2007 to produce the album, to create?
In between that time, we were changing lineup members. We released a few like demo albums and things, but nothing got really to a stage that I was happy to go into the studio and do a proper album. Plus, we're still very young, back then, and I still didn't feel that everyone in the lineup was strong enough until we got Martin and Luke. And then it really started to happen with Salvation EP. That came next, and I was really, really happy with the production, the songs, and the direction the band was going. It's like, yeah, this is how we should sound. And then the first full album with this lineup was VR, which was again fantastic album. And
2009, right?
Yeah. And that was that really sort of strengthened the band. We took that album out on tour with Bayley and Michael Schenker the first time in the UK. And that was sort of progressive. It has Death by Lightning on, which is like the crowd favourite song. And then brings us to this latest album, A Way of Life, which, again, gone up another level.
Okay.
Went to a different studio. Production was even better this time, and the songs were getting, a lot stronger. Went a little bit less progressive on this album. And yeah, which brings us to now. We've released a new DVD, which has some bonus tracks and a tour diary from when we went on tour with Iced Earth last year. So yeah, everything's really exciting.
Yeah. So 3 albums, 1 EP, a lot of tours with Iced Earth, with Bayley, with Michael Schenker and Saxon, Motorhead, YNT, and so many support gigs. But why not a headliner show?
Oh, well, in between all these support gigs, we've been doing headline shows as well. On this tour, when Michael Schenker went to the UK, we stayed in Europe to do some headline shows in Belgium and Holland, Switzerland. And we continue to do that, same with the UK. And yeah, always headline shows, as well as, very busy band. We've got to play live all the time.
So where do you get the time to create the songs?
Usually times like this, when sound checks and when we're sitting at home before a tour, rehearsals, running up to the tour.
Okay.
You can always find time to write a new song.
Okay. So you are a guitar player, you create the melody, you are the singer and also the songwriter?
Yeah, I mean, in the early years I was always the writer. And it only got to probably this last album where it was really all three of us doing the writing, and it's paid off. Luke probably wrote a lot more of this latest album in A Way of Life. He was very active with the writing. But yeah, it all happens.
And what are the topics about the songs? Is that more like not a concept album, not a special way? Are there different topics, or is this the Life wrote the text?
Yeah, we go off real life experiences a lot of the time. So stuff that's happened to ourselves, or we know that's happened to other people. And then sometimes we might just go completely off topic and just write something fictional, like Death by Lightning's about someone who does a crime and gets sent to execution in the electric chair. And you can hear in the music, it's sort of like pacey, and then it goes quiet in the middle, and then suddenly goes out with the big guitar solo. So you could just imagine a story in your head. And then there's other songs like Nemesis. Nemesis is quite a meaningful song, very melodic, and that's about people in life facing their inner demons, and their demons facing your nemesis, whatever that may be. So if you're afraid of your job, afraid of the dark, or afraid of,
teacher.
Yeah, anything. To us, Nemesis was about all the sacrifices we do to go on tour. So, we might not see our girlfriend or wives for many, many weeks and months. We might miss parties and birthdays and family, but we sacrifice that because we love playing music so much. So, but yeah, there's loads of different topics that we take.
And that you try to bring on stage for the fans.
Yeah.
And when you stay on stage, do you look in the crowd and say, okay, they're screaming our text, they sing with us, they clap to our songs. What do you think about when you stay on stage, play our songs, sing the music, and look to the fans?
I just think I love doing this. I love to play music in front of an audience. One of my favourite feelings is playing to an audience that has seen us before, or maybe not seen us before, but bought our CD, and they're standing there watching us and singing along to the songs. That's a very, very special feeling. But yeah, if I see the audience enjoying it, I enjoy it even more. If I see them stood there, I try and get them, because we always enjoy it and we always go for it. So. And that seems to help the crowd, because they think, well, these guys are having a good time, so I think we should as well.
Well, there are some difference between the countries, right? I mean, the people in UK and the people here in Germany are a little bit different. Like here in Berlin, many people stand there with a beer. Good music, okay. Good song. But what is going in the UK? What is going there?
To be honest, I think a lot of people have asked me this question. How do you find the European crowds compared to the UK crowds? And I don't think there's a little bit difference depending when you go. But I think most people are the same in this sort of music, because what you've just described there is some people sit, and they might really, really like the band, and sometimes those people that are stood like that come over to us afterwards and say, great show, I'll buy a CD. And it's like, hang on, you look like you were bored, but you've just bought my CD. It's exactly the same in the UK. You've got to absolutely try and drill it into them. It's like, come on, have a good time, put your hands in the air. But sometimes people don't want to do that.
Okay. And what are the secrets for a singer and motivator on a stage to be the crowd, to feel the crowd, and to get the crowd to, clap their hands and sing?
I picked up a lot of tips off two people mainly. The first person was Bayley, who I saw play small clubs of about 30, 40 people, and watched him totally transform the whole place into. It made you feel like you were in an arena.
I was on a concert like this. It was here in Berlin in a Halford, 2010, I guess. and it was awesome. He came up to from the stage, play with the crowd. That was really great.
And then, so he's a very, what I call an aggressive frontman. He's like, come on, doesn't let anybody just stand there. And then there's the other guys like Biff from Saxon, who's just completely the opposite. He's almost sort of like walks on, absolutely cool, and he just sort of looks at you and it's like and very sort of inviting. So he's very sort of like inviting sort of frontman. So I try and do a little bit in between.
And it works.
Yeah, I try and look at the crowd and see, you know, is it a young crowd? Is it an old crowd? Do they look like, you know, if they got you know, leather jackets, or they're all well dressed, and just, you know. So if they're a little bit of a younger crowd, I'll just absolutely go for it. But if it's in the middle, I'll just play it by ear.
Okay. So let's come to the UK. What about in Manchester? What kind of clubs you have there to play for? I mean, for young bands. I mean, you played there in Manchester. I think your first gig was for UK, right?
Yeah. I mean, we started in small places. A place called Grand Central in Manchester city centre, and it's probably the heavy metal bar in Manchester. There's also another place called the Towler in North Manchester, and these are small venues, but they're rock venues. You know, they have a very strong following. So a lot of small bands still play there, and that's the way, you know, they sort of work up the ladder. We've moved on to, you know, play at bigger venues in Manchester now, but we still go back for drinks there.
Okay. So is it for you also so difficult to start up in the music business? I mean, 10 years ago, you stand there, okay, we got nothing, we try our best. And when you are 23 now, so you start with 13.
Yeah, well, it's still hard, but I think it's always been hard. You know, I don't think it's ever got harder or easier. It's just sort of years go in, you know, in waves. You've just got to put lots of work in all the time. I mean, for instance, now Luke is joining Iced Earth. Yep. Fury UK is going to go on a little break, hiatus for don't know how long, but because his tour schedule is so long, myself and Martin, the drummer, are going to put a new band together. So we're starting complete fresh, you know, with a new band name, a new lineup. We're going to bring in a second guitar player. Okay. We've already started writing new material, and we've got tour dates, support slots, festivals already booked. You know, so it's something for us to really grab and do while Luke's touring with Iced Earth. Okay. So that's going to be announced very soon as well. But again, we've worked so hard with Fury UK. We've got all the contacts and done a lot of experience, so we know, you know, what to do, but most importantly, what not to do.
Okay. So was it better for you to get no management, or no one helps you, so get everything yourself?
Yeah, well, you know that no one's going to try and mess you around. You know, if you do it yourself, and it's only you that owns the music, there's only you that controls what the band does. If somebody else controls it, then you don't know why they're doing it. You know, are they doing it so they could make a bit more money and we don't make money? Or it's always money if somebody else is in charge. Yeah. If you've got control over it, you know exactly what you need to do for the best.
And a secret is the label who stands behind you, right?
Absolutely.
So all your albums released at Rockset, yeah.
And they've always looked after us. And again, you know, pointing us in the right direction. And because Luke's also involved with Rock Sector, you know, there's no hidden, you know, agendas in there. You know, it's all for the good of the band.
Okay. Chris, let's talk about your favorite albums you ever heard, and you would say which band members could be in an all-time favorite band, maximum 6 members.
All right. Okay, this is a tricky question. Right, well, my all-time favorite singers are Glenn Hughes, Bruce Dickinson. So I've got 2 singers. So I've only got 4 more people now. Oh, this is hard. Okay, I say for Glenn Hughes on lead vocals.
Okay.
We'll have Tony Iommi on guitar.
Which band?
From Black Sabbath.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've got Glenn Hughes from Deep Purple.
Yeah.
Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. We'll have, I don't know, Joe Satriani on guitar. We'll also have, I don't know. Should we have 3 guitar? No, we'll have, we'll have another guitar player. Gary Moore. On drums, oh dear. Mickey D from Motorhead. And on bass, we shall have. Who's a good bass player? I don't know. I need a bass player. I don't know. We'll say Steve Harris from Iron Maiden.
Okay. And
monstrous band. To get them all in the same place at once.
Why not? Okay, Gary Moore is dead, but it's...
Yeah, that could be tricky.
I was wondering that you don't choose Ronnie James Dio as a singer.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Okay.
Right, swap that around. We'll have 2 singers and just 2 guitar players.
Okay. Nice.
James Dio and Glenn Hughes. That'd be pretty cool.
Ooh. Okay, and now a female band.
A female band? Oh my god. Oh, we'll just pick Girl School.
Girl School mixed with Doro.
Yeah.
Okay. What kind of music they play? All heavy metal?
We could have a few members from Nightwish. Yeah. Yeah. Tarja.
Oh.
I really like Tarja. Doro. Female vocalists. There's a few.
Simon Simon?
Heart. They're cool.
Epica?
Yeah.
Who is a Temptation singer? Or Delane, Charlotte Vessels?
I think my favourite out of all those female vocalists is Tarja, the original Nightwish singer.
Taya Turun.
Is that how you say it?
Taya.
I was never really.
Oh, it begins to rain. What the hell?
Oh dear.
Okay, but we sit on a tree, so it's good. But the camera is not on the tree. Okay, let's come to the end, so you don't go get ill. That would be really good. So I was ill because of an interview in the rain.
God damn it.
So, yeah, what was your favorite album?
Let There Be Rock, AC/DC.
Because it was your first album?
Well, yeah, and it's a great album. I'd have to say Black Rose, Thin Lizzy, 2112, Rush, Heaven and Hell, Black Sabbath's probably my all-time favourite album.
Okay.
Holy Diver, Dio.
Yeah.
There's many.
And if you could be a director of a music video, which music video would you, try to film?
Hope to have filmed. Oh, Steve, there's fans.
Yeah.
A music video. I don't know. TV Crimes, Black Sabbath.
Oh.
That'd be cool.
Yes, it's you as a director.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, Chris. I would say the last words are for you, for the fans, for the visitors, and.
Thank you very much, everybody. Hope you enjoy Fury UK. Make sure you check us out on furyuk.com, and come see us soon. Check out what we're up to.
Ben, thank you very much.
Cheers.
And let's go inside. Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.